I was born in a small Hungarian town called Pécs. My parents were not formally trained musicians, but they were very music-minded. My mom would own all these recordings by Beethoven, different orchestras playing his symphonies. She was able to listen to it and tell the difference between which orchestra was playing and who was conducting. So I'm pretty sure she had perfect pitch, and we would just be listening to these recordings day in and day out. Mostly Beethoven, but other classical musicians. My dad loved jazz. He had many recordings by Ella Fitzgerald, some by Earl Gardner, all these old vinyl records. So we'd be listening to those quite a bit. But it wasn't until I was in first grade when I started showing interest in music. So my parents decided to invest in a piano. All the pianos that I have seen were these beautiful black pianos with a shiny finish and with the white keys, and I was anxious to be able to play one. So when my parents finally presented me with my first piano, I was very disappointed because the piano keys were old, and you see they were yellow, and I wanted the white piano keys. Nonetheless, I started taking piano lessons and I started playing, and like most people, I took classical piano. I studied Bartók, Bach, Beethoven, and just all the big classicals. So I played a lot of classical music, and I did little concerts, little recitals, like most children do, and my mother would attend all of them. But then one day, when I was 12 years old, my mother passed away unexpectedly. So I lost a huge influence in my life. She and I were very, very close. She attended all of my piano recitals, and after that, I was just this big empty space. One day, I was first year of high school, was having kind of a hard time. I came home and I decided that I was just gonna play. I was just gonna play whatever music comes to mind, and so I started playing songs from musicals, TV shows, anything I could think of, and I started improvising. It just so happens that my dad came home at night hearing me play the piano, and he just dashed right in and he said, "Look, I think you found your calling. I think this is what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life." That was kind of scary, but in hindsight, he was absolutely right. I started playing more contemporary music, and then I fell in love with jazz, and have been playing it ever since. So I continued my studies, and while I was in high school, I was taking some classes at the Franz Liszt Music Academy in Budapest. They had a small jazz department, and I would go and audit classes there, and sometimes had the privilege of playing with those cool guys in the band. I remember my very first band play. It was Duke Ellington's Satin Doll. It was the very first time I played with a bass player and the drummer.
One of our big requests called Satin Doll.
It was fantastic. I knew that if I was going to study jazz music, eventually I'm going to end up in America, this being the birthplace of jazz. And so I auditioned at the end of my high school year and won a scholarship to Berklee College of Music. At the same time, I had my very first radio appearance at the National Radio of Hungary, Budapest, which was very intimidating because not only was I the youngest, but I was the only female player in the entire show. But I think that gave me enough courage and experience to audition for Berklee, and I've made it. At Berklee, I studied jazz and I continued to perform, but my major was film scoring. I always loved movies, and I felt that jazz is really just one way of expressing all the emotions that I wanted to express. So I was really happy, and I was and overwhelmed by all the different styles of music that I was exposed to, including mixing live music with digital music in the studio and trying to match it with visuals, with the visual art. In the summer of 2000 is when I finally got my degree in film scoring from Berklee, and that was also the time when my dad passed away. And he has never watched me perform live. Not even as a child, but not as an adult. Also, he has never come to the United States to watch any of my live performances, which haunts me till this day. And every time I play, hope he's listening. Him and my mom. After graduating, I moved to California, where I got my master's degree in jazz performance, which was wonderful because I was no longer in culture shock. I was able to focus on the right stuff. I was able to focus on the music as a performance art and also music as a business. And I've met some wonderful people, like the trio I play with these days, and we play a variety of stuff.
My name's Norm Murphy. I book and manage the jazz program here at Northern Spirits for the owner, Natia. We've been in business in this club for about 3 years, and I'm kind of proud of what we've done. The only jazz club in North County, and I think we're doing quite well. And I'm fortunate to have people like Reka, who I've met about 1.5 years ago. She's a wonderful player. She's a real professional, and she always comes up with a super performance, so we're just proud to have her in our rotation here at the club.
Hi, my name is Ron Denifu. I'm a jazz host at Jazz 88.3 right here in San Diego, and found this unique place in northern, at the North County, what we call here in San Diego. It's up here in San Marcos. It's about 35 miles from the city. But nonetheless, what I found here was great jazz talent that comes through here. And one of the persons that I've met and listened to a number of times here at this club is Reka. And Reka's a very great player. She comes from Hungary originally, and she came to this country in the 90s, went to Berklee School of Music and graduated from there, and she knows real good jazz compositions, and she's just an exciting player to hear. And I would invite all of you to come whenever you can get up this way to hear Reka play the piano.
Hi, my name is Livia Soboklimovitsky. I'm the founder of Moshulu Group, and it's a privilege for us to have Reka Parker playing in our corporate events. And I'm also president of the American-Hungarian Chamber of Commerce, where Reka and her group is coming to our corporate events all over nationwide in the United States. I wish her good luck, and I'm really proud of her being Hungarian and making successes in the United States.
I don't look at music as either strictly jazz, classical, pop, rock. To me, that's music that moves you one way or another, or music that doesn't. And so when I play, it's really about that connection. It's about that connection with your audience, and depending on who the audience is, what the venue is, and what the general emotion is, that's what's going to make the successful performance. It's not just about the audio, it's about the visual, it's about the emotions, and it's about the connection. So what I really want is I want the people to be part of the performance, and after we're done playing, I want them to leave feeling better, just emotionally more enriched, happier. I just want them to have a peak experience.